Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for February 2023. We're going to jump right in here, Aries. In your current general energies for the month, you have this drama card and this adaptability card. I would avoid drama at all cost. Again, we have, even though Mars is not still in retrograde, we had Mars retrograde in Gemini, and we're dealing with the shadow until at least the middle of March. So, and I would really say a little bit longer. I would wait until at like the end of March, but I would just avoid drama at all cost in general. And you have that adaptability card, and we are clearly in a time of adaptability. I would be as adaptable as you possibly can. I would also say, I feel like you need to not give up on things that you're working towards, especially for those of you in work or business, you know? And look, this is why you have this Phoenix card, and again, I kid you not, that's kind of like what I was feeling, is that there's going to be some sort of rebirth. I'm not sure that a rebirth is exactly the right word to use, especially for those of you in work or business, but it's like, I feel the better word would be discovery. You're discovering something, or maybe you're kind of diversifying, making yourself, I wouldn't say you're making yourself more valuable, although I don't think that's ever a bad idea when you have Jupiter in your sign like you do right now. Anything you can do to make yourself more valuable, whatever that means to you, becoming more healthy, becoming more successful, whatever, it doesn't matter. That's just going to lead to a lot more success. But kind of what I feel here is that some of you, it's like you're trying to improve your finances. What's hilarious is there are 0 financial cards here, but I feel like this reading is about finances. And again, I read intuitively. I think that partially that this reading is talking about your kind of like your financial story, or whatever you want to call it. And it's almost as if you're discovering ways to improve your finances, or to diversify, to make yourself more valuable, to make more money. Really good if you do anything in the spotlight. You have the Sun card here, so like YouTube, anything like that. Really good if you have clients as well, is what I'm getting. You have the Sun, the 9 of Cups, and the 4 of Swords. The Sun is like happiness, joy, good things coming in for you. It kind of makes the whole entire reading a little bit more positive as well. But you do have the Sun going down to the 3 of Swords to the 6 of Swords. Some of you, it's like you could be leaving a situation that you tried to fix. And I think that your readings have been about like some sort of situationship type of deal here. It is good that the Sun shows up here, even though you might be heartbroken or there's some difficulties. It looks to me like you're kind of correcting the situation. Or maybe you're realizing that the situation is like a hamster wheel and you're just moving towards, more your own personal happiness. You have the 9 of Cups here as well, as I always say with the 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups is a card of bathing in energy. If you want love, you have to have love before you can have love. So I always tell people, go love a dog, go love a cat, go love something that you love to do. And I think that's really important. I kind of get 2 halves of your brain popping into my head. It's like one half is like, oh no, I need to work because I need money and like all these earthly things, right? And I think the other half of your brain kind of like knows that you need to do this right here, which might include not working. It might include going on a vacation, or going on a staycation, or taking a break, or something like that. And I would move towards that side of the brain. I'm not saying this is the right, but I'm not saying it's the right side of your brain. I'm just saying, it's like whatever side it is. I feel like you need some fulfillment time. I think you need some time for yourself here, Aries, because it's like I just think you need to get out of your head, plain and simple. You have the 4 of Swords here. 4 of Swords is a card of recovery, and it's also a card of healing. And I do feel that some of you are kind of going through a healing. I also feel that you're like hoping and praying for blessings. The other thing I get here is that if you went through a separation or a breakup this way, I feel like you're done. Like you are completely done with this energy. 7 of Wands is kind of a card of drawing a line in the sand. It kind of says that you've made up your mind completely in love, like what you're willing to accept, who you're allowing into your life. I feel like you are very certain as far as love is concerned. Even if you didn't go through a heartbreak recently, I think some of you are opening back up to love, maybe. Maybe not right away, not like this month. I keep telling everybody, February is just okay for love. And that doesn't mean you won't have it. But again, I think maybe you're starting to get to that place where you're saying like, okay, I'm drawing this line in the sand. This is what I'm willing to accept. This is what I'm not willing to accept. Funny thing is I see you attracting someone very similar. With the Sun, you have the 8 of Cups. Yes, you are walking away from something, for sure. And maybe it was once your happiness. Really, I feel like you're walking towards happiness, plain and simple. I keep saying to people as well, 8 of Cups we are in between eclipses. The next eclipse season is going to be in April. And what I would say is it wouldn't really surprise me if, between now and April, you are cutting things out of your life and then entering into new situations. All situations, not just love. Once we get into the end of March, April, May, once we get into that springtime. With the Nine of Cups, you have the moon. Man, I will tell you what. I think you have some big ol' you-know-whats, right? As I always say, I would never say the word balls on YouTube, so, there you go. But I feel like you have guts, and that's what people are noticing about you. I don't know why. That's like the feeling I get here with the moon. It's almost as if you're walking towards something where you don't know the outcome. Maybe people are trying to say like, oh, don't start that business. Don't go date that person, or don't do this, right? And I think people are seeing you kind of becoming extremely confident. I get a very strange sense of confidence. I'm not even getting any of the typical moon energy on that card. I'm just getting confidence for some reason. With the Four of Swords, you have the Magician. Definitely you've attracted a new beginning into your life. And I also feel like clearly you are kind of having a reinvention. Normally the Magician has a snake wrapped around his waist, and it represents the Ouroboros, which represents reinvention. Again, with Jupiter in your first house, it is almost impossible not to have some sort of reinvention or not to have some sort of rebirth in your life. Next, in the area of what you don't see coming, you have this Teeth card that says control and change. You also have this Cat card that says jealousy and gossip. Again, Mars retrograde, I would ignore jealousy and gossip at all cost. Also, on the Six of Wands here, there's a lady in the background, and she's meant to look jealous. But, the whole point of the Six of Wands is that he doesn't care. He is confident because he is on his high horse, but he earned his right to be there. And I feel like you need to realize that you have earned your right to be somewhere. When that happens in life, sometimes people try to bring us back down. They're like, how dare you improve when I'm still stuck? I'm talking for these other people, right? And I think for like the past year or two, this has been coming up for you, Aries, that maybe that's like, part of your shadow that you've needed to face is that like other people want to drag me down. And I don't think, people always ask me, do I have to cut these people out? I always say maybe for a short period of time. I'm not a big, I don't think we have to unless someone is like super toxic. I think maybe we can just train our brain to just say, okay, this is how they are. I just have to ignore it, right? But if you can't, maybe for a short period of time you do. But, I don't think we have to totally do it. You have the King of Cups, the Three of Swords, and the Fool. I feel like you are attracting a King of Cups type person. I feel like I've been saying this to you. Could be a water sign, but I would say it could be any sign. I think they have very deep emotions. I feel like they're kind of like a trailblazer, and I feel like they've also been recently hurt. The funny thing is, I feel like this is how the two of you are showing up in the reading, King of Cups with the Queen of Wands. And again, it doesn't matter what gender you are. I feel you are just showing up as the Queen of Wands. And this is a good thing. I feel like you're kind of like on this path where you're just not worried about what people think. She has this black cat here. You have this black cat here. The black cat on the Queen of Wands says that she doesn't care what people think because back in the times of tarot, the black cat was considered unlucky. And it just means that she doesn't care. She just likes a cat. She just wants a cat, right? So I feel like you're in that mode. I feel like you're attracting a person who's like a little bit of a trailblazer. I feel like they've been hurt as well. It's like you almost have the same story. It could be a Scorpio because I feel like I said this to Scorpio, but again, take it how it resonates. Could be any sign. And I feel like that it's like both of you are in this position of having drawn a line in the sand as to what you're willing to accept in a relationship. And I feel like you two are kind of like a match here, even though technically the King of Cups and the Queen of Wands aren't a match. I feel for others that you're forgiving past situations, and I really like this because, I feel you're just focused on the new. I feel like you're very I get this very fresh energy. It's funny, I was talking about the spring because I get this very fresh feeling from the Fool. It's almost as if you're just saying like, okay, you know what? I'm just shedding everything from the past, magician, going through reinvention, like a snake sheds its skin. And you're just saying, I'm ready for just new adventures, new opportunities. So let's see. With that King of Cups, you have the Four of Pentacles. I feel for a lot of you, this person's very stable. They could be very financially stable as well. But really, I feel like it's talking about your financial stability. And I feel it's saying like your emotions are controlling your financial stability. So make sure to control your emotions. With the Three of Swords, you have the Knight of Cups. This person might, I feel like you two heal each other. It's like if you're attracting love, the Knight of Cups, I feel, is saying that you're attracting a person where you both see each other as each other's knight in shining armor. It's like, I'm not suggesting you are saving each other, but I am suggesting that, by having each other, your lives get better together. So definitely like a knight in shining armor. If you are not looking for love, and even if you are, The Knight of Cups really represents a dream, and we are in a time of dreaminess. We have Neptune and Pisces, and in March, we're going to have Saturn moving into Pisces as well, which I think is going to be a critical moment for pretty much everyone, because that Saturn and Pisces is going to be like, okay, you've been having all these dreams for all these years that Neptune's been in Pisces. Are you actually going to get your butt moving? Are you going to bring those dreams, the moon is these big dreams that we all have. Are you going to bring those things down to earth, or are you just going to do nothing, right? So here's the success. It's like saying you will be successful, and all you have to do is believe with the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands says when you believe something deep down into your DNA, deep down in your soul, you will become very successful. So that's what I would do there. With the Fool, you have the Hierophant. The Hierophant, it's like coloring outside the lines. It's like, I don't know if you've ever seen those. There are some artists where they like go to the thrift stores, right? And they buy old art that's from the thrift store, and they kind of like add like monsters into it. I don't know if any of you have ever seen that. That's like what I have here. It's almost like you're taking something, maybe your business, and you're adding something to it to make it more interesting. You're doing something different here. I don't know what to say there, but that's kind of like what I'm getting. Same thing in love. Again, I get this kind of a little bit of a rebellious energy, but I don't think this person's a rebel. I think this person is just a badass. I think they just, kind of a trailblazer. They live life on their own terms, that sort of thing. And next, we're going to look at what's coming towards you. You have this card that says, it'll all make sense to you soon. You have this Phoenix. It says, they couldn't stop you. You're coming back stronger. We've kind of talked about this. This is all a test of strength, pushing you beyond your comfort zones. Yeah, I think that you, Aries, are definitely going through this. It's like you and Pisces are, right next to each other, and you both have very similar readings. If you have Pisces in your chart, I would definitely watch that Pisces reading, because, it makes sense. Pisces had Jupiter in their first house last year. You have it in your first house this year. So I feel that for a lot of you, that you need to keep pushing. It's almost like you're breaking through some sort of barrier or a plateau in your life. And that's what I feel is going on. You have the Seven of Wands, the Strength card, and the Six of Swords. I like the Strength card because it's a card of showing off. She has her hands in a lion's mouth. And I always say, who in their right mind would stick their hands in a lion's mouth? And the answer is nobody, Aries. So she is sticking her hands in a lion's mouth, and people are seeing her as being very strong. So I feel like that's what's going on here, is that you could be making some decisions, like I said, that are really showing your guts, that are really showing your, kind of your strength, your confidence. I was getting that on the Moon card. It could be causing drama because, again, when people don't want us to change, people get jealous when we start improving our lives, because then it points out all the things that they're not doing. And this could be like, this almost looks like the Strength card because there's a lion on it. So you could be causing a little bit of drama. Really, it's not even worth talking about because I would just ignore it, plain and simple. I also feel that you could be going through some sort of rite of passage. I always say my favorite book of all time is called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, not The Art of War. I'm talking about The War of Art. And in that book, he says, when we are closest to our goal, that's when we experience the most resistance. That's when we have the hardest time, or that's when we experience resistance, especially from people. He makes it a point to say that we experience the most resistance from people in our life when we're closest to our goal. So definitely do not give up. You have this card here, the Seven of Wands, which, again, is my card of deep belief, but it's also the card of perseverance and persistence, kind of like the Nine of Wands. Really, this is a card of persistence. It's a card which is a little bit different than perseverance, right? So I would definitely keep pushing. I wouldn't stop, especially if you're working towards something. I would also just not give up on something. I get this feeling that maybe you've been working on a business or your career for a long time, and this is kind of like saying, maybe there are some signs or symbols that make it look like it's going the wrong direction. I feel like this is saying, no, it's time to double down. It's not time to give up. Again, I also get that you are attracting a person where it's like the way I see it is your beliefs are the same in my head. I feel like you've both been through something that gives you the same belief here as well with that Seven of Wands. Let's see. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Queen of Pentacles here. I thought you had the King of Pentacles. Oh, I was thinking about the Hierophant. The Hierophant is Taurus. King of Pentacles is Taurus. You could be attracting an earth sign into your life. It could be any sign. You have basically everything here. But I would be very resourceful. That is one thing that I will say about 2023, 2024 really as well. So like the next 2 years, if you can do things without money, then I would do it that way. Even if it's maybe a little bit harder, Like in business, maybe you're thinking, oh, I need money to be able to support my business, but maybe there's a way to trade, with a person or whatever. It's like doing those things is going to be a little bit harder, but not in a bad way. I think in a good way. It's going to make it a little bit more valuable. Plus, you'll be saving money. So that's what I'd be doing here. With the Strength card, you have the Temperance card, turning one thing into another. So you can turn a negative into a positive into a negative, but it's also a card of transformation. And we kind of talked about that with the Magician, that you are clearly going through a transformation in your life. With the Six of Swords, you have the Nine of Swords. You had to leave a situation, I'm telling you right now. I don't know if you're currently leaving a situation or if you already did, but I feel you have the Nine of Swords twice, which is kind of like going to bed, having a nightmare, waking up, being stuck in a nightmare. Your reading is pretty simple because in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Peace card, and I feel you just want to protect your peace. So if you're leaving something like a relationship, maybe it wasn't easy to leave, but I feel like you're more focused on having peace in your life. Some of you could be a job as well. It's like maybe a job is just causing you too much stress or too much pressure. And I feel what this is doing is it's causing you to reinvent the way that you do things so that you can remove some pressure from your life. It's not like you're necessarily making things easier, but I just think you're making things more efficient, more successful, more whatever, more worth it, right? More worth your time, effort, and energy. So there's some sort of change going on. This is going to bring you a great deal of peace and harmony into your life. So love it. You have the Queen of Wands, Six of Wands, Temperance, and the Nine of Swords. Again, you have the power to turn this situation around. I would be looking at how you can turn a situation around, things that you can do to improve a situation, or how you can get more from a situation as well. I would be just exploring all possibilities. I think even in work and business here, I would be exploring as much as you can, like knowledge. Again, you can learn, you don't even need to spend money. You can learn whatever you want on YouTube for free. So I would be looking for ways, especially in business, to reinvent your business, or maybe there's just an easier way to do your business, and it keeps popping into my head. I think it'll lead to more peace, more harmony, more freedom. You have the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is a card of success and abundance. It is a card of being successful as well, being on a high horse. So I do feel there is a lot of success coming in for you. And you do have the Queen of Wands as well. So Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want. And again, I think this is the energy that you are in at this time. She's also not afraid to learn as she goes. And I would say with the Moon card being a card of walking through darkness to get to an achievement, because the moon, there are mountains in the background, which represents achievements. I feel that she is saying, like, don't be afraid to enter into any situation that you could be entering into. And don't be afraid to learn as you go. Don't be afraid to just figure it out, right? With the Queen of Wands, you have the Seven of Pentacles, two sevens right next to each other. To me, two sevens is internal fears that don't exist. So definitely time to let go of those fears. But Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Like, is what you are doing right now for work or business or whatever, is it worth it? Or could there be something better? Is there, and I can't answer that question for you, but, is there a better solution? Is there a better way of doing things? You're going to have to answer that question for yourself. But, I would definitely be looking. We can't find answers if we don't look, right? So that's what I'd be doing here. With the Six of Wands, you have the Three of Swords. Yeah, see, here's the thing. It's like, I would be careful of a past heartbreak here as well. It's like, if you have a past heartbreak, it could be a person who's still heartbroken, who can't get over you, trying to drag you back in. That's what I'm getting here. And that could be the person who's jealous, but I would just ignore it. With the Temperance card in the Nine of Swords, you have the Five of Swords. It's like a separation here. So again, some of you have dealt with a separation or something like that. But again, I really get like the need to ignore the separation or move on with it, from it, is what I would say. But we're going to pull 5 main themes now. You have this fan card. It says romance, celebration, party. I do feel there's love coming in for you. And again, I would say this person's like exactly the same. Not the same as you, but as in, I feel like you both have a similar story from the past, and you've both similarly drawn a line in the sand. I almost feel that this is like two people getting together with certain expectations. A lot of people say no expectations, which I agree with. I don't think we should enter into any situation with expectations. But what I'm saying here is it's almost like two people coming together saying, this is what it's like you're saying it up front. This is what I accept and expect in a relationship. But both people are doing it And so it's almost like I don't think you're negotiating anything here, but it's almost like you both know what each other want. So it's like there's no excuse at that point for, it not putting in the work or whatever the case may be. So I don't know, it's kind of weird, but that's what I get. You have this rabbit card that says too much concern with sexual matters. I feel like this could be a past person that you were dealing with who was just like a rabbit. Let's put it that way. You have this axe card. It says forces working against you. I don't think anything's working against you. I think this is more drama. So I would avoid drama at all costs. Mars retrograde. Again, this will clear up as we move through the month of March as well. So wouldn't even worry about it. You have this lobster. It says financial pinch. I don't really feel there's a financial pinch. If anything, I feel that your finances are improving. It might be slowly, but they're improving. I also feel that some of you have experienced a financial pinch, but this is the thing. Again, that card says this is a test of your strength. You're beyond your comfort zone, or pushing you beyond your comfort zone. So again, if you're doing the same thing you did yesterday, today, you're stuck, as John Taffer says. So I would be doing something new if you are not making money, if you're struggling, right? I would kind of learn new things. You have this gavel card. It says involvement with the law. I do feel like some of you could be dealing with a divorce or separation. I also do feel you could have a past person who is dealing with something legal showing up here as well. But pretty interesting reading here, Aries. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it.